What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, good people? It's your man, Patrick the Game Changer Jackson here, back with another great episode with the crew. We're gonna have a great discussion today. Get ready for the conversation. Gonna be deep. Always gonna be fun. Always going to be entertaining and laughable. And hopefully you get to learn something in the midst of all of it. Man, it's been a crazy, crazy week, crazy couple weeks. And I think for the rest of this month, can y'all believe that we are, man, in March? At the end of March, man, like this is crazy. Like time is just flying. 2025 is going crazy fast. Hopefully, everyone is being safe, they're being blessed, and continue to love on each other. Hey, got some great bingo R and bingo tickets that's going to be given away as well. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Make sure you get in these comments, have the discussion, have be a part of the conversation. If you're tapping in, just say hello. Say where you're from. Say hello while you're coming on, tapping in with us, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in, engaging in the conversation. Got some great thing that is happening for the rest of this week. Of course, had the NAACP awards last week. Was definitely phenomenal. Great time. Everyone looked fabulous. Congratulations to all the awardees. Tomorrow we will have a youth conference for Power Moves 365. We have a youth conference tomorrow over at C-Tech. Definitely excited about that. It's going to be extremely, extremely fun. Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Then have another conference Saturday as well. So definitely crazy full week, man, of great fun and activities. But if you want to win those tickets, make sure you say something in the comments. Also tag a friend. If you can, keep it on lock just like that. Also, listen, um, I got some great news that's going to be coming down the pipeline. That I'm trying to hold it. I gotta hold it until April to share. But I'm definitely excited. It's some good things coming down the pipeline that I am bursting to share. So I gotta quit talking about it before I allow it to slip out and be premature in the rollout. So definitely appreciate all the support that everybody's been showing to me and the crew and everybody that's been coming on. Definitely appreciate everything that you guys have been doing to support the platform. So make sure that you like, share, and comment. And we're gonna have some great topics. LeBron James, some issues going on with Stephen A. Smith, some New York cop issues that he got going on. Crazy, crazy, man, crazy stuff that's happening. And some potential co-parenting stuff that we're gonna dive into. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, good people? Man, listen, we back at it again. We about to get this thing rocking and rolling. One more time for the good people. Let's go. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Monty and Jen.
Hello, everybody. It's Monty Wilson, and I'm representing 64 Soul today.
Let's go. You muted, Jen. You
Another
muted.
another old lady antic. Anywho, I'm back, persevering Jen, and tap in with your girl so we can have these conversations. Let's get it.
Let's
Right
get it.
on.
Let's get it, man.
Oops. Covering up my screen.
So, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in once again, man, for another great conversation, another great episode for you guys to dive in with us on different type of topics and conversation that's going on, usually current news, and we kind of bring our own perspectives. And yeah, as y'all can see, as y'all look at these different conversations that go on, it can get a little tense, it can get a little wild, and it can be real funny. So we appreciate y'all continuing to tap in with us. So if you're coming in, say hello. Again, we have the opportunity for you to win some free Iron Bingo tickets. So all of the giveaways are absolutely real that I give. I know some people can do fake giveaways and stuff like that, but I don't like doing stuff like that. If I'm giving something away, it's for real free. It ain't, oh, you got something free, but you gotta pay this to get it, type thing. The little hokey hit you with the uh uh uh. Nah. The tickets are absolutely free, and you will get 2 tickets that come along with that giveaway. So the winner, you'll be able to take a guest with you on that. But we're gonna tap in to some issues that's happening over in the basketball world, the NBA world, where we got LeBron James. LeBron James, some consider him the GOAT, some consider him not the GOAT. That's a
Some
whole
consider.
conversation
Yeah.
rolled into one. Like, you know what I mean? So, and with that, him being the mega superstar, still at 40 years old, dominating the game, all-time leading scorer. Listen, doing this thing at the age of 40, man, knees are still holding on good, even at the age of 40, man. But he has a son. Those of you don't know, ain't been following, kind of been living up under a rock. He has a son that is now in the NBA with him. Some say that he's deserving. Others say that he's not. Some people think that LeBron has put this big old target on his back, coming in with some comments that he made, I think about a year and a half ago or so, where he said he was better than half the NBA players currently at this point. And so, with that, Stephen A. Smith, those who don't know him, you've been living under the rock, and you're just not a part of the sports world. He is a ESPN commutator, and probably, well, not probably, he is the biggest commutator, sports commentator in the world. He's now with the highest paid. There was a huge issue with his salary and stuff. He finally got his bag, I think maybe a month ago, because I think Pat McAfee became the top paid, and he said, no, I am been number one for a long time, so I need to be the top paid. So just to give you some level playing field of understanding, if you don't know who these people are, this is a person that is at the top of his game as an analyst. And you have what most would consider him to be the GOAT as LeBron James. These two going head to head, having an issue, and it was around his son. So as an analyst, give you the backstory, he was saying some things about his son, Bronny James, that is now in the league with him, right? And so he's been saying certain things, and I think he's been also tapping at some of the parenting choices of LeBron James, which kind of, I think, what some people were saying would kind of rubbed him the wrong way. So when Stephen A. Smith decided to sit courtside at a basketball game that LeBron James was playing in, LeBron took it upon himself to roll up on old Stephen A. Smith. He rolled up on the brother, and then he had some choice words. Then after that, Stephen A. Smith addressed it, and then now LeBron James has gone on Pat McAfee show to address this issue. So we're gonna play both of these videos just to give you some some ground floor. I kind of gave you the backstory of that. So now this is LeBron James sharing his views on what happened.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah.
Started off with, I didn't want to address it. Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you can address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job. Mm-hmm. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about it again.
Now, do y'all want to address this part, And then we going to the Stephen A. Smith video, or
No,
do you
no, we
want to
probably
play the
should
Stephen
wait.
A.?
Yeah, let's play them both.
Let's go ahead and play the Stephen A. So this is the Stephen A. This was Stephen A. after LeBron addressed his comments after the confrontation that he and Stephen A. had.
Playing, I'm going to talk about you because that's my job, and I'm going to be very objective about it. You just
Hold on. Go back. Slow.
But as long as you're playing, I'm going to talk about you because that's my job. And I'm going to be very objective about it. You deserve praise, I'm going to give it to you. You deserve criticism, I'm going to give that too. But at least I'm going to tell the truth instead of lying like LeBron James has been lying, using his son as an excuse to say what he said to me. He has a problem with me. He knows good and damn well I wasn't shitting on his son. He has a problem. And instead of talking to me about it, he came at me when I wasn't in a position to respond. And then when he wanted to respond and elaborate, he went to Pat McAfee. Major props to Pat McAfee again for getting it. Anybody would have gotten it. Damn it, you did it. I have no problem with Pat McAfee whatsoever what he did with this interview. I'm not insulted or offended or betrayed by a teammate or anything like that. That's nonsense. He did the right thing. LeBron is the culprit here. But far be it for me to say that about King James. Kings don't get blamed. I guess that's why he's not my king. I got more to say about some things he said about other people during this interview with Pat McAfee in a minute, right after I pay these bills. All right, everybody, listen up. With all the big-time sports action that's...
So, what's your thoughts on this confrontation between Stephen A. and LeBron James?
I can go first. First I have to throw this out there first. The I hate to see two brothers going at it. I gotta throw that out there, right? I hate to see two brothers at this level going back and forth. It seems like there's so much of that going on right now, and I wish we could be rise above it. That's what I wish. That's what I wish. Okay. Now, my opinion on this. I have mixed opinions. I can see both sides of this. Now, full disclaimer: I am not a LeBron James fan, and I am not a Stephen A. fan. Matter of fact, I don't like either one of them. Okay, so this is, I guess I'm even. All right. Now, LeBron, in my opinion, he put his son in this position. Okay, no doubt. He put his son in. He put a bullseye on his son. Bullseye on his back. Right, for people to come after him, because people weren't coming after his son while he was in high school, junior high, and all that sort of thing. Even though LeBron put his son out, and he, first of all, he named him LeBron James, and I'm not going to fault him for that. But you name your son LeBron James, you know that he's gonna have some. There's a lot to go with that. You know what I mean? And he should know better than anybody, having to go through it at such a young age. So he gave his.
Oh,
Oh, he froze up.
I think Stephen A.
So,
got a hold of him. No, I'm just like.
but he was making a valid point that he was
Yeah.
coming back, and Stephen A. kind of knew, that LeBron James did kind of put a little bullseye on him a little bit. That bullseye caused, and then he made additional comments, saying that his son was better than half the league. This was before he even made it to the league, and kind of just put that bullseye on his back. And so everybody have been criticizing his game to a large extent. I think the criticism is either going to make him or it's going to cause him to fold. It's going to be one or the other, like literally one or the other. So there's some choices that's got to be made, some major choices that got to be made for, how he's just going to conduct him moving forward. But I think it's a little too late for him specifically, because that target is already there. Like the rolling clip is you saying, he's better than half the league. So what do you think those guys are going to be doing? They're going to get up for a game against him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too familiar with the situation. Like he said, I'm not going to use the word that. I mean, I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with LeBron, but Stephen A., I hear his interviews and I know how hard he can go and how rough he can be, But like he said, I feel like, I mean, you brought your son into this.
Brought the son into it, man.
Why you bring your son into something like this? So now
Yeah.
all eyes is definitely going to be on him from here on out, moving forward. And at the end of the day, it's not gonna be pretty. And they coming hard. Come on, you know how the internet, like they don't call it internet, they call it internet. You know how the internet can be. And when they coming hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they coming real hard.
they
They
coming
coming hard.
hard. Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry about
Stephen
that,
A.
y'all. I forgot to plug my phone into the charger.
Oh, dang.
The charger's
Man,
sitting here, but I didn't plug. So you got to put it in the little hole on the side.
I thought Stephen A got a hold of you. I was like,
Now,
man,
yeah, man. That hairy hidden hand cut
what?
me off. What y'all be talking
I'm
about?
done.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, y'all. Y'all need
Oh
me
yeah,
to.
but the whole point is that Stephen A. It kind of went into, and the point that LeBron had put up, and I think although he put the targeted stuff on his back, he started to kind of challenge his parenting,
Correct.
and he went more into that area instead of just critiquing his game. Like, hey,
Correct.
he's not this, or he needs to improve on that type thing. But then you start saying like, you put this target on his back as a parent. As a parent, that's a bad decision. Like you're putting him. You're talking about
Yeah.
parenting now, and not his game. Like
Right.
regardless of any parent putting their child in a position, he was just doing what everybody else do. Like the buses, right? Like GD Bus dad and them put uh her and the kids in position to run the company. The
I
boys, they
can't.
couldn't.
That's apples and oranges to me, though.
No. But what I'm saying is that
But I get what you're saying, though.
the sons couldn't run. They wasn't running the company right. But he was in position to hand them something, right? He was in a powerful enough position to be able to put them in a place of ownership of something that they really didn't know how to run. But other owners
Okay.
could critique it, but you know what I mean? That's what kind of came with the territory.
I think that's okay. The reason why I say that that's apples and oranges is because obviously, if you have a business, it is not. It's very uncommon for you to set your kids up or your relatives up to help run a family business, because the Lakers is a family business to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's pretty common. They just happen to be the Lakers. They just happen to be on that level. If I had a grocery store, a local grocery store, or if I had one of my daughters wanted to do photography, and I set her up, alongside me, that's what parents do. This man forced his son into a professional basketball league, and he forced his son into a basketball league that touts themselves as being the best players in the world. You know what I mean? So I don't look at basketball or the NFL and doubt whether or not these are the best players in the world. It's not like a singing or something like that, or the songs that come on the radio where you like, well, these aren't the best singers in the world because I know such and such can sing better than her at church. You know what I mean? We all know people that can sing better than people that come on the radio. But when we watch the NBA, it is very important for you to feel like these are the best players in the world. You watching the best. Now he comes along and forces his son into a league that is supposedly the best of the best of the best. That's why that's different to
So
me.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I'm gonna push back on you.
Go ahead.
Now we're saying that he forced him in, right? And because he doesn't have any, he don't own the team. He don't have any power to determine what they do. What happens is that the fear of losing him, that he built up the capital enough, so there's not a force, there's a fear as a business owner saying you're making a business decision, saying I want to keep this person, but all the other people are doing the same thing.
That's
Thanasis with
semantics.
Giannis, but we're saying Thanasis with Giannis, right? Thanasis
Wasn't
brother
he? But
is a
but wasn't he
garbage
in the
player,
league? But wasn't he in the league before Giannis though?
but he should have been out the league by the time Giannis got there.
But he was in the
But
league before Giannis. He
you said
was.
what?
Now I'm not saying Giannis didn't help him out, and I'm not. And Giannis is not right either. Two wrongs don't make a right.
No, no,
Giannis is
I'm
wrong
not saying.
too.
I'm saying, but he had potential. It's not like that. The potential is there. But even if we go and look at LeBron James Jr., Bronny James stats, he wasn't picked in the first round. He was picked at the end of the second round for the Lakers. He
Okay.
wasn't their first pick. They picked Dalton Connect, right? So he wasn't even in the top pick for the Lakers to force him to get him. He ended up on the back end of the second round. So if you compare the Bronny James stats to all those second rounders, he's playing way better than them. And we're
Okay, but let
saying
me
that
ask.
he's not deserving, but he's playing better than the people that we're saying were drafted that was deserving.
How many non-starters on a terrible team have you ever seen get drafted in any round?
Most of them.
A
Most of
non-starter on a terrible team gets drafted
who's on a
with
terrible
all the
team?
good, huh?
Bronny James isn't on a terrible team.
I can't hear you cut off. What?
Bronny James isn't on a terrible team.
No, he was on USC. He was
No,
on
what are
USC.
you referring to?
I'm saying is he was on USC, which was a terrible team, and he didn't even start on a terrible team. He would not have gotten drafted if that was not LeBron's son, and LeBron didn't pull a power move. You just said he pulled a power move.
Okay, so why all these other NBA players sons ain't in the NBA? Where Michael Jordan's son at? Since he's the GOAT, where his
He
son
didn't
at?
pull a power move. He didn't pull a power move. What do you mean?
That means the son wasn't good enough.
That means okay, right. He didn't pull a power
No,
move. If he would have
but
pulled,
but 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 we're saying a power move, Monty. We got to look at his stats. Even in the G League, the guys that he playing against, all those second rounders, half of those first rounders are in the G League, and he is the best G League player that they have. He is the
okay,
best
but
G League player. So
we're
if we're
not
if we're
talking. No, you skipping ahead. You skipping ahead to what he ended up doing. I'm
but
talking about at the time of the draft, he was on a terrible. He came from a terrible school, USC, and he wasn't even a starter on a terrible team.
okay,
LeBron pulled a power move. That is not debatable that he pulled a power move to get him a son that was not supposed to be drafted in the second round. He was
that's
not
in your
supposed. He would.
opinion.
That's everybody's opinion.
No,
Experts,
no,
everybody.
I know, but their opinion, everybody's opinion has to end the results. Because we're talking about all these people that ended up being busted and all this type of stuff. How many second rounders become these great players, right? Like, if we're comparing him to anybody, we're comparing him to the people that he's drafted with. And we're saying that he didn't deserve. So then show me those other players that's playing better than him that deserve the spots. They should
Uh,
be. If I would give you a comparison. I play basketball. If I'm going in and they give me a spot, right? If I'm balling better than them, then the guy that they're saying, oh, there was this major power play and I don't deserve to be here, but I'm playing better than you. The people that y'all saying deserve to be here. All of these other people didn't get this privilege, right? All the people before me that were drafted
you're
before me
jump.
don't have this. That don't have this power play.
Listen, we could debate whether or not he's the best, but you're jumping ahead. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying at the time of the draft,
Okay,
name at what okay, at what level I've watched him since he was in junior high all the way up. Name one level that he played good or he dominated, played good or showed any potential like he was a for sure NBA player. You cannot. He never did.
that's in your opinion.
It wasn't just my opinion; it's everybody's opinion. You trying to tell me when he got drafted that everybody knew that? Oh yeah, he's an NBA player for sure. Everybody, that was the whole take on him. Everybody said that. Nobody just it wasn't just me. You thought he was. You saw him play in high school, and you said this is an NBA player right there. And you saw him at USC and said this is an NBA
I
player.
didn't watch him enough. I thought that he had
I
extreme
did.
skill. I think that I thought that the time that I watched him, I thought he had extreme skill. I thought that he had a quick spark, and that his IQ level of being able to pass the ball was phenomenal. Those was the things that I saw. I thought that maybe he was a little undersized, but I thought with the development with LeBron James, he would be able to be a okay NBA player. I think that his youngest son, I think is going to be the beast. But
I,
I think Bronny James, him coming in, he's showing people that like if you can't hang, like right now, I can't say if I'm gonna go and play basketball against a group and then it should show that I shouldn't be able to play with them. If I go and play with professionals right now, just because, oh man, Patrick's popular and we want to put him in here, like we're gonna put him in there, right? Then it should show that I don't belong there.
okay, but you're arguing what he ended up doing. He did develop. Nobody doubting that he did develop. We're
But
talking about
if
whether or
you ain't got
not.
the talent, if you ain't got the talent and the
No,
ability,
that's not
I
that.
don't
No,
care.
all basketball players get a little bit better
Man,
if
bro,
you
if
out
you
there
ain't
playing all the time.
bro, you gonna get washed out. How many players go in and out of the league? It's guys that end up overseas, the guys because their development just ended there.
But you missing the point. The point is not where he ends up being. He could end up being an all-star. If he could be end up in the Hall of Fame. But LeBron still forced him pulled a power move to get him in the league. You see what I'm saying? He
Okay?
pulled a power league. You even said it. He pulled him a power league. That's all my point is. He pulled a power move to get him in the league, which put a bullseye on Bronny's back. That's all I'm saying.
Which is
Regardless of what
which
he's
is
playing at now.
but now we're saying that it worked out for him.
Who cares if it worked out? That's what I'm saying. He could become a Hall of Famer. At the end of the day, LeBron still did a power move to put him in the league. That's what Stephen A
So
is
you have a
talking
problem with
about.
that. So everybody got a
Huh?
problem with somebody using their influence like everybody do all across the
I'm
world
telling
when
you,
they're in
Stephen A
positions of
has
power.
a lot of people had a problem with it, and that's what Stephen A's point was.
But why people got a
That's what
problem with
our
it? Why people got a
huh?
problem with it? Why people got a problem with it?
Because because LeBron has a history of pulling power moves and doing stuff like this. And let me tell you why. I can tell you exactly why I have a problem with it. Because
Why you got a
he
problem?
said he was going to do this 2 or 3 years before it even happened. He started to set it
Okay, he
up.
told you.
Okay. So okay. I'm okay with you. You just mentioned the Jerry Buss them. That's okay. Or you got a problem with that, but
I
you don't
didn't say
have
I
a
had a
problem
problem
with
with it.
LeBron pushing his son into the league.
No, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so my point is, either way, regardless of what me and you think, Stephen A. thinks that he has a problem. That he pushed him into the league and he put a bullseye on his back. Correct? Stephen A. thinks that.
And,
Correct?
and, and Stephen A is out of pocket.
For thinking that?
Not for thinking it, but for questioning his parenting. The way
No,
that
no,
he's
no.
raising these young men and putting them in a position.
We haven't even got to that point yet. We
But the
still
bullseye
debating on whether or
the
not did
bullseye part
LeBron
is
did
a
a
part of
power
that.
move, huh?
No, I agree that it was a power move. He
Okay,
used
that's
it.
all I'm saying. He did a power
No,
move.
no, but everybody. We're saying that is wrong. I don't think it's wrong to use your power move.
I didn't say that yet. All I'm saying is I think that for the integrity of the league, that's a bad look to let somebody
Oh, come
to
on,
do
man.
that in a league. Yes, there is.
Come on, man.
Okay, you got things that can you got things that can
His
be bad.
son ain't a Rudy Poo though. There's a difference between you
He
bringing
was
in
a
a
Rudy
guy.
Poo. He was a Rudy Poo at the
Nah,
day
no,
of
he was
draft,
not.
though.
No, he was
He was.
not.
Oh no, that's revisionist history, Patrick. That dude was a Rudy Poo. He always was.
But that,
Everybody knew
but
that.
that, but that's what you're saying. What Steph Curry became, what Giannis became. These guys develop, and so you're saying, but everybody don't develop that get drafted.
Okay, so what was Giannis when he came into the league? Was he an All Star, a future Hall of Famer?
No,
Okay. So what was LeBron when he came in? LeBron when he came into the league, was he
he was
the
not.
player that he's right now in the G League?
No, he shouldn't be. He should
No,
develop.
was he? Was he?
No,
When
he
he
should have
when,
developed.
that's my okay. So we saying the same thing. He was not a good player when he came into the league. That's just facts.
But
He
when we
never
say,
dominated or
but
played. He never
everybody wasn't
dominated
a
or
good,
looked good at any level. I watched
but
him.
everybody wasn't a good player then. None of those guys that was drafted was a good player. Maybe the
We ain't
first top
talking about
five.
the other players. We talking about Bronny.
But you can't you can only compare somebody whether they're good or not. You have to compare them to somebody. That's levels
Okay,
of college.
compared to
Whatever
the
you're
other
saying.
people. Okay, if he was so good, then why did he go almost last in the second round? Then, if he was so
That's
great,
my point. That's my point.
he wasn't great. That's why he wasn't.
And those other guys wasn't either. So what's the problem?
What other guys wasn't?
The guy that was the other 40 guys that would pick before him in the second round, and a couple of guys after him.
Because they pick. You're supposed to pick based on their performance at the time, or you could do it on potential, right?
Right, and they did it on his potential.
So, and I'm telling you that I watched. You just said you didn't watch him in high school. I did, and I watched him in junior high too. He
They
didn't
saw
show
something
that
in him that you
potential.
didn't see. They saw something in him you didn't see.
Okay, did LeBron pull a power move? Yes or no? Let's go back to that
I said
to
he
get
pulled
him
the
into the
power
league.
move.
Case closed. He pulled a power move, and all I'm saying is to do something like that. To me, that messes with the integrity of the league when you do something like that.
But the power move again, and there's a balance with that. You can't just make a power move and then there's no potential there. See that's the difference. There's a guy that's a Rudy Poo and can't ball, right? And you put him on the squad and he just can't ball. But a guy that you're bringing in, you're saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna bring you up under the wing and try to give you this opportunity, develop you. I see something in you." That's a whole different ball game because he
Right.
shouldn't
And
be
he
developing
LeBron
into
James'
nothing.
son.
But you shouldn't be developing into anything. If you suck, you suck. We're talking about the top guys in the world. So if he's going against these top guys in the world, that means he should be getting wiped off the floor.
But he's not going against the top guys in the world. He's in the G League. Is he in the NBA balling out? No. He's
He's
in the
been
G
doing
League.
good. He's been doing better than the other guys that's been drafted, bro.
The other guys, what?
The other guys that's been drafted. If you're comparing them to the other
So
guys
you
that's been
telling me
drafted,
out of his draft, he's the best
yes,
player right now in his
he
whole
right.
draft.
No, the second round, yeah, the entire second round.
I don't know
His
that.
entire
I don't
he's
know
better.
that.
I know
I don't
because
know
they
that.
were pulling. The reason why I know that is because they was pulling it up on Gil's Arena. They pulled up the stats on Gil's Arena. Even half of the first round, he was playing better then. And then those same guys in the draft are playing in the G League, and
But
he's killing them in the G League.
you keep missing my point though. I don't care what he ends up doing. I'm talking about at the time of the draft,
See, you
LeBron
keep
pulled
trying
a
to go there.
power move
You
to
keep
get
going
his
there,
son
man.
in the league. That's all I'm
We already
saying.
agreed. We already agreed that he.
Okay, so that's what he's being. That's what LeBron is being critiqued on. That he pulled a power move to get his son into the league. That's all I'm saying. If he becomes an all-star, whatever, that's irrelevant to that point.
But but why is that a continued conversation? How many times we gonna talk about the Bus family handing down something? How many times we gonna talk about this person bringing on a coaching staff person that was a cousin
They do
or
talk
that was a
about that
friend?
stuff a lot. They do
No, they
talk about
don't.
that. We don't talk about people don't get to get coaching jobs that shouldn't have. That happens. NFL play that ex NFL guy who just got a coaching job the other day. I mean last year, and he had never coached before. They talked about that up and down, all up over the internet, all over TV. They talk about that stuff, but I'm saying the reason why he's getting more scrutiny is what I said at the beginning before I got cut off. My phone cut off. Is just because it's LeBron James' son. He's gonna
I
have
agree.
more bullets on his back than anybody else because he's LeBron James' son. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
So my point is that Stephen A, like you said, went too far. because he's
He
talking
went
about
too
his
far.
parenting and stuff like that.
Yeah, he went too far. I agree. I agree. He just went too far.
Hey, he went too
Let's make
far
sure.
with that. That's why I said I can see both sides. I feel like LeBron, he butchered, he did a move to get his son into the league. Everybody started talking about it, and Stephen A. went too far. Because
I agree.
a lot of people was just talking about it and just saying this, kind of sugarcoating around it or whatever. But this dude, he was just like, I'm gonna make. I think you got to understand about Stephen A. Stephen A. picks a topic and he's like, I'm gonna like go viral off of this. Like he picks viral moments. Like I'm
Right.
sure he has a list on a board on the wall, and he says, okay, what can I say today to
That's
make
gonna make me go
news?
wrong. Hmm.
Right, that's what he does. We know that. He's I don't even consider him a real journalist. He's like he's like an actor to me. So that's when he goes on there and takes these shots at LeBron. That's what it feels like. That's why I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to this because they're like both actors to me going at each other. LeBron
Yeah,
too.
yeah. They just make it. They just make it a scene of it. But we gotta move
But
on.
that boy was
We gonna
not
come back
good,
to it.
man. Coming out of high school, I'm trying to
Man,
tell
he
you, he
was,
wasn't.
man.
I
The
watched
boy
him,
had potential. The boy
but
had
you said you
potential.
never watched him though. Okay.
The boy had potential, and that's what we
Mm.
keeping it. Young Brody James was getting it in, and that's what. Listen, we about to get it in.
We're gonna see if he ends up where you claim he was when he gets to the league. If he's so cold, how come he ain't on the Lakers team then?
He is on the Lakers team.
The real one.
No, he play on both.
I know what you're talking about. He got a 2-way contract. Yeah.
Yeah, he play on both. Yeah, he had 17. He had 17 the other night in the real NBA, not the G League, in the real NBA. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
a
yeah.
clock, a clock is even a broken clock is correct. What is it 2 times a day?
All right, man. Listen, we about to move on. We're gonna move on to this officer. Jen, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
You better be ready. All that facial expressions you was making.
So yeah, man. Anywho, look,
You
a
you
New
you you couldn't wait to
Jersey,
get you couldn't wait to get to this story.
Because I'm trying to understand, y'all. Why is a New Jersey police chief accused of pooping on the floor and spiking the coffee with Viagra? What is truly going on?
What, Chief Robert, what's going on, brother?
Come on, Chief Robert, over
Um,
there looking like Ace Ventura. Come on, what's going on?
there's a picture of him in his underwear.
There
I
you
think
go.
he's shaving his body or something at the desk.
Yes, he did way too much. I mean, truly, he had more than that going on. If you truly, really want to know, it was more.
I read that he pooped on the floor or something like that, and it sat there for like days or weeks or something until he picked it up. Like nobody would
So,
Now,
pick it up.
yeah,
so
so I guess 5 officers had end up uh, coming forth with legal complaints about it, and they're preparing to sue Chief Robert. Uh, yeah,
mm-mm.
Okay,
yeah.
so the obvious question that I have is, how does someone like this get to that type of position? Now, this is worse than what we were just talking about with LeBron right here. And let me tell you why. We know that this dude probably was acting a fool like this his entire career. He probably was doing this in high school. He was probably doing this in junior high. He was that guy, that prankster, that idiot, that dude you hate to see coming. Yet he got promoted all the way up to be a chief. And can
in
you
1 year,
imagine,
in
huh?
1 year, in 1 year, like
So this must be a small force, I'm assuming.
that's what I'm saying. You can look at the precinct and tell how small it is.
Yeah.
This is
But
wild. In
if,
one
if
year,
he's if he's treating if he's acting like that around the office, can you imagine how he's acting to people that he pull over on the street?
right? And not to mention, it wasn't just the Viagra; it was Adderall. And if you know what Adderall is for, then that kind of sums up everything in his whole behavior.
Isn't that something? Don't people take that to get high too? What
Yeah,
is Adderall?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
Adderall,
people.
think
That's
it
the
was,
pill that people pop, right? Okay.
yeah, Adderall is to treat people that have like ADHD and things like that.
yeah,
So
that's yeah,
it's for behavioral, mental illness that a person has. And he was doing way more than that. He was ripping um things off the wall. He was taking unhinging the televisions off the wall. He was uh it says he was throwing fits of rage and doing all of that. On top of what you said, he was caught shaving his arms on the desk. He putting sex toys. That's what you see right there. That's blurred
yeah.
out right there. Putting
Oh,
sex
okay. I thought
toys on
that's
the
what that
door.
was.
Yeah,
Now
like
he sent that to his uh somebody's family home. They delivered it. He was sending gay pride flags and dildos and stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
he
so,
couldn't.
and
so,
masturbation cream.
so
Like the
didn't
dude,
they say he put a syringe in somebody's wee wee? Like, how did he do that? Just
Right.
walked
yeah, he
up and
said he
poked
was.
him.
What?
Yeah, they said he probably was accused of smearing ink on door handles, poking holes in coffee cups, and sneaking dangerously hot peppers into co-workers' food. One complaint said he heated one he ate one of the peppers and infused it with a meal in a microwave, causing fumes so unbearable. The fire department was called
Mm-hmm.
to vent the building. The dude was going wild. Like
Do y'all
it said like he was like a prankster and like yeah, he was doing all types of stuff.
do y'all think he has some sort of mental illness on top of just being a
Yes,
prankster?
yes. I mean, because that's where that comes from, and um, having that mental illness is elevated times 10 when you taking drugs, when you
Yeah, Mama Jackson
abusing,
said that mental illness. Yeah,
you abusing medication on top of taking things you're not supposed to be taking. So that's heightening the mental illness
yeah,
that
you heighten it big time.
it is, and it's causing him to really act out of character. And why do you have somebody like this in your office? Because, like Monty said, this isn't something that just pops up out of the ordinary. This had to been taking place prior to just this incident, and it's happened multiple times and not just once. Because why is this just now being heard of? Y'all should have fired him a long time ago.
But
And
look at this guy.
how did he make chief? In here it says it.
Look, look, look at this guy. This guy. You look at his picture. He should have been fired when he was high. He should have been fired as soon as he was high. So
Look
soon as
at
they saw this picture, looked like he looked like he up to no good. He just
Right.
looked like he look, he looked
He
like he up to no good.
He looking like try me. Look at him. He high right now. One of
Man,
his
don't he look high?
yeah,
He
he
look like
high.
he look like he got Viagra and fentanyl and all types of stuff in his system right now.
He look like he got lockjaw for sure. Look, these jaws is lock tape, air tape. Yeah, why
and
y'all got
and
him?
then the people is obviously he had the people under some sort of control or where they didn't just turn him in right away. You know what I mean? Like they let it get to the point to where they just pretty much had to. But that's just out of control. You're talking about a hostile work environment. That if you, I mean, being a police officer is hard enough as it is, and you
Right.
got to come into
So
the office and worry about what's going on. You can't even set your water down good because you don't know what somebody gonna stick in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
scary.
might he might pee in it a little bit. You see, he look like a peer, don't he? He look like somebody gonna pee in your cup or something.
If
He
he
ain't gonna
Man,
he
rub.
gotta be peeing.
He might rub something on the toilet, make you have a breakout
Oh
in a
yeah.
rash and your hives or something.
Oh, I'm too
but
big.
he look like that mischievous kid, don't he? He just look
Yes,
like you. He
yes.
look like what was that show back in the day? He look like the fat boy from there. Uh,
I know who
uh,
you talk about. Oh, they just showed a movie of him. But he was always doing just mischievous stuff. Like
yeah.
goodness.
Some
Yeah,
Beaver. What was that? What was that show called?
Oh, you talking about Dennis the Menace?
Dennis the Menace.
yeah.
He looked like Dennis the
He is
Menace.
goodness.
Yeah, that's Dennis the
I
Menace.
know. We out. we showing our age here a little bit, but listen,
You was
listen,
talking
he
about
looking
you
like
talking about leave
Dennis
it
the
to Beaver.
Menace.
You was talking about leave it to Beaver.
Yeah,
Beaver was he was all right. He was
Leave
just
It to
kind of
Beaver was cool.
yeah. He
Yeah,
wasn't crazy.
yeah.
Hey
now
y'all.
It was
he
leave
see
it
in
Hey,
the
to Beaver
building.
had leave it to Beaver had
yes,
Eddie
I'm
Haskell.
saved finally.
I'm
Eddie
here,
Haskell was the
sis.
dude on leave
Thank
it to
you.
Beaver that
Oh
one
my
that kept getting in
goodness.
trouble.
Yeah, he like he
Oh,
was doing too much.
okay, so I had it wrong. He actually he made police chief last February. That's what it was, not last year. He has been in the department for 26 years, y'all. 26 years? And you mean to tell me in 26 years this is all adding up, or this happened all just in
That
one?
man,
Yeah.
that man came in and said, "Listen, things gonna change around here." That man came in and said, y'all must so things gonna be a little different.
I
So
would
gonna be a
yeah.
little
That
different."
I
Put
would
some
want to
Oh,
stank on
know.
it.
yeah,
I
he
would
put
want
a
to
lot
know
of
that.
stank on it. Yeah, he
I
did.
would want to know that is if he was always like this, or is this something that came over him over the recent years? Like he just, you know what I mean? Like he got
Right,
CTE or something. Because, you can get, maybe he got hit on the head and that CTE is just getting to him.
Nah,
right.
Could
brother,
be.
look at this face. Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
That leave it to Beaver face.
Don't
Why is
zoom
this?
in, because when you zoom
Why
in,
is
it makes
this?
it worse. He got one
Look
Yeah.
at
eye up and one eye down. One
look
eye
at
is
Yeah.
this
His
pointing.
man.
ear
This
is
man
down and
look like
everything.
he about to do something to somebody. He
Yeah,
about to do something to somebody.
he done already did something to somebody. That's what it is. Look at
Nah, not yet. In this picture, he was like, "Oh, they ain't seen nothing yet."
him.
Hmm.
That's a sneaky
Man,
face. You can't
I
tell
know
what
one
he done
thing.
did.
They
For
better go
real.
back and relook at all his cases. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, so the dude that he did it to was a subordinate. So that's what he did. The person that he stuck the hypodermic needle in, it was a subordinate that he did it to.
Of course.
See,
Yep.
the
He's the
man, yeah,
chief.
he crazy.
Ain't
He
that
crazy.
crazy? Hypodermic
That's
needle
wild.
into the you know what of a subordinate. And it says and more. So ain't no telling what he done did to the man booty hole. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Uh oh.
he wrong for
I don't
that.
Now,
know.
Mm.
in other news, last thing we're
Let's
gonna
not
hit y'all
speculate.
with on tonight. Yeah, now we talking about some Diddy stuff. Uh, woo. Yeah, that ain't
Oh, you
something.
saw his? Did you see his latest?
Oh, this is wow. Did y'all post this?
Now,
I didn't get a chance to do the background what you call it
now
again.
this show this right here is talking about
How many
being
kids?
careful who you co-parenting with and who you have children with. Okay, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Now this brother gonna break this down just a little bit with a little commentary, a little funny, but it's get a little back real quick as we go into the conversation. Yes, this is about a guy and his ex. He has one child by, right? He has one child by. She got multiple children, and there's an issue because she wants to take his daughter to Disneyland, have some fun, but she is insistent on him taking all those other kids that are not his. So let's see what he says, and we'll take it from there.
Father, because he wouldn't take all the rest of your kids or something like that?
Yes, I am the mother whose daughter was invited to Disneyland by her dad's side of the family, and I am not allowing her to go unless the rest of the kids are invited.
Now that's just pretty ruthless for you to do that with his kid, don't you think? How many kids you got?
I have 6 kids total, so she has 5 sisters and brothers, ranging from 15 to 1.
I know you didn't just say one. Girl, you just had a fresh one. That little bun just fresh out the oven. You trying to ship it across states with another man to go to Disneyland. Girl, you better let that girl go with her daddy.
I am not going to allow one child to go to Disneyland.
Well, you should have made sure all your kids had the same daddy.
How would you feel as a child
Yeah.
if you had sisters and brothers and one of your sisters was invited to Disneyland? You were watching them pack. You were watching them shop, for clothes for the trip. You were watching her leave for Disneyland with her Mickey Mouse ears. You would feel horrible, wouldn't you?
Well, how you think your daughter feel that she can't go with her daddy because all your other kids can't go, gumdrop?
I'm not going to allow one of my children to go to Disneyland if the other 5 can't go.
And just for the record, he only got one kid, right? He only got one kid with you. The other kids is not his, right?
No, he is not their biological father, but he was their stepfather at one time.
Well, if you want them to go so bad, how about when he take his kid, you take your kids, and they won't know no difference? How about that?
I have already offered to pay for half.
Lord, you half-ass crazy. That's why you got half your teeth in your mouth. If you think what you just said makes sense, I get it now.
I've already offered to pay for half. He just has to take them along with him. There's a bunch of adults going. There's no reason why they can't take 5 more kids.
Oh man. So
5 more kids.
I like how he did that. That was dope.
That was
Oh,
good.
that no, he used to have. I used to follow him on Instagram. If you go back on his Instagram page, he has some really good ones, like way better than this, where it
Yeah.
looked like they literally really are talking to each other. Like this one
Mhm.
didn't seem like they were talking to each other. The other ones, it looked like they're literally FaceTime
But
each
he
other. And it's
edited,
like,
yeah, that's still dope
yeah,
though. Yeah, he did that. I'm gonna have to go watch him.
Yeah.
it's
so what's your thought?
Hater make a Juno is his page.
Okay.
What's
Um,
your thoughts on
you
this?
know what? If she if she was just saying, I'm not gonna let my kid go, it wouldn't be so bad. But she's trying to say that he should take the rest of the kids, and that just takes it to another level to me. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be so bad if she was just saying, "Look, I'm not gonna let my daughter go because the other ones can't go." So da da da. But she's expecting him to take them all. That part where it's just that part is over the top to me.
Don't do that baby like that.
Ladies?
Why you gonna
Yeah.
do that baby like that? That's wrong. It's not her fault. Let her go to Disneyland. Stop being like that because you didn't lay down and had these babies and they got all separate daddies. Now you want to make the baby pay for your mistakes. Stop doing that. Let that baby go to Disneyland.
Right.
Why? That's
Because
wrong.
Yeah.
because people sometimes not, I mean a lot of people don't get to go to Disneyland like that. You know what I mean? Like some people you might go once or twice in your whole life. Some
I
people
still
never
ain't
Disneyland
go.
expensive.
been. I still
Yeah,
ain't been.
especially
That's
now, you may
expensive.
never go to Disneyland again.
It's expensive.
She
Yeah.
said
What's your
she
thoughts,
said
T?
she would pay. She said she would
Hey,
pay half,
that's
right?
why he said she half crazy. Because
She
no,
half crazy. And why did she talk like this? What was going on with her? I think she should contact the other baby daddies and say we're taking a trip to Disneyland, and I need you to pay for your son or daughter's ticket because we're going to take a family trip to Disneyland. Right? That's my
that
two
ain't
But
gonna
but
cut
cents.
even
it. 'Cause you
but
I
still
think
even if
all
she
the
did
kids,
pay, go ahead.
Disneyland
mhm,
expensive. You
all
gotta pay
the,
everything
you
else.
know, you can't. One kid cannot go to Disneyland and come back to that house and
Why
and
not?
brag with the other siblings, and then you're bragging about being at Disneyland. I don't know. I
See,
have 2 sisters, and that one sibling will probably be getting the business for
I
bragging
mean, and
about
that's the
going
that
to
part that
that
I
that
can
Disneyland,
see. That's the
but
part
that
I can
right?
kind of understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand it at all because at the end of the day, that man is responsible for that child, right? So you're cutting off the blessings of your child having access to whatever that father can bestow upon that child because you have lackluster other baby daddies that you decide to lay down with. So you're going to prevent your daughter from experiencing whatever she can experience with the father that is willing, because I could almost guarantee you the problem is like with almost what T was trying to say is maybe you can get them to pay. You ain't able to get them to pay. That's the problem.
Mm.
You ain't gonna be able to get them to pay. That's why you offering him half so that he can pay the other half for another 5. So he got to come out of pocket more money just for him to enjoy something with the daughter that he has that he is responsible for. Now, if he does something extra for the other ones on occasion, he's doing this big thing. Obviously, Disneyland is something spectacular and big. Maybe he come and he bring McDonald's for all the kids. But Disneyland is a whole nother ball game. This is my responsibility. This is what I want to do for my baby. So now you want to prevent from doing for my baby because yeah, that's crazy.
I think too. Even if she was able to pay the whole thing, it's a lot to say. Take 5 more kids with y'all.
And a 1-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know what she
Right.
was talking about. She couldn't have been talking about the one, even though she was. She got to be crazy to think they're gonna take a 1-year-old. That baby don't need to go at all. Never gonna remember it. The thing about this is taking 5 kids. That means they're gonna have to take a whole nother vehicle, get another van or whatever. That's a lot to be
Food,
taking 5 other kids. And she said they're
food.
15, so I guess the older one, you gotta have to worry about too much. But still, who knows how far it is? Taking 5 more kids is out of line.
And you know when you ain't in the household, number one. Them ain't your kids, so they ain't listening to you like that until you have created an authoritative position with them bad kids. So you want him to take a bunch of bad kids across the state? They ain't gonna listen to him. Man, you crazy.
They gonna
You
be like,
crazy.
so what? You ain't my
Yeah,
daddy
You
anyway.
ain't my
You ain't my daddy. I ain't gotta listen
yeah.
to you. You ain't my daddy. And mama said,
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like don't. I mean, it's not the child's fault. So why put the child through that? I lived in a situation like that. I'm not gonna lie. I lived in a situation like that, and my daddy was active, very active. He's still active in my life now more, and very unfortunate that I had to get to see and do more things. But at the end of the day, my mom allowed me to, and it wasn't their fault, and and hey, I didn't know what to say or do, but at the end of the day, I feel like the kids shouldn't have to pay for it. Why let the kids pay for what the mother did? It's not right. you know it's not right.
How did
Because
your
you also have to take
siblings?
into account how the daughter will feel too, right? Because
Yeah.
if they go, and then say for instance he's with another lady that got kids, and their kids is going, right? And then now your daughter looking like, why I ain't get to go with my daddy, and you took these other kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's deep. It's a lot of different angles it
It's
can be.
very
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
it's a lot to
It's the
unpack.
same thing. What? Yeah, because your daughter got to think about that. And then when she goes over there, those kids got pictures and bunny ears and Mickey Mouse ears and stuff. And they was like, "Oh, girl, you missed it." Woo, woo, woo. You know what I mean? They could be telling. It's the same thing.
Yep,
Right.
And
that's
Yeah.
she
tough.
obviously, because they said it was a family, so she probably got cousins that was going too, that she know. Even if there's no other kids, it's probably other little kids going. That's her cousins.
Now I got a question for the lady. Now with that, if you're a mom, right, and then being in that type of situation, and then the daughter seeing that happen, you prevent her from going. Do you think that will cause her to, when as she's finding out, like I could have gone, but you stopped me from going? Do you think that will build resentment?
Yes.
It definitely will.
Yes.
That coming from experience too with
Hmm.
another sibling, that could cause resentment. It
Right.
will.
Now, but what or would she understand what the mom was doing, trying to not allow the split between the siblings?
It depends on how old she
No.
is too. We
Yeah, I
don't
was
know
gonna
how old
I
she
say
was
is.
gonna say the same thing.
it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
the child's responsibility to understand things that adults are doing. The
And
only
they
the
don't
only
at a certain
responsibility,
age. Yeah.
yeah, she has is to be a child. It's not
Mhm.
even fair for her to try to understand why I can't go with my father and his new family on
Right.
this trip because you've decided to have 4 other siblings with 4 other men.
Mhm.
So that's
Oh,
a deep. There's gonna be a
we
deep.
don't know if it's 4 other men.
Tita just gave her 4 or 5 baby daddies off
You
Right.
rip.
know, I hold
Tita
it
just
real
Finish.
strong. I know what else
Hold
y'all
on, I'm
talking
about to
about.
cry
Another
for
another
you.
thing too is this his weekend? And did she
ah
have the right? Do she have the right to tell her that she can't
did
go?
he pick the right weekend?
Or
Right.
maybe they
Yeah.
don't
Because if
have
this is his, if
weekends.
this is
Maybe
his
they just
weekend, and then she's saying that's even messed up too.
maybe
Now
they
we
But
just
talking.
do it whenever, because maybe they probably don't even have it like that to where you want to get weekends. They probably just say, when it's that time you want to take her, come get her.
yeah,
So
Yeah, we don't know.
sometimes it be like that. But I know even with my situation, there's a when you're going out of state, your weekend is your weekend. If you're going out of state, then there's a an agreement that has to be made
Yeah.
beforehand and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So even if it is his weekend,
She'll
that
say
that
no.
could be that could be her trying to prevent him as well, not giving him that approval
Right.
to even
Right.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same thing. Don't want to go
Yeah,
out
I
of
don't
state and
know
have to have
about that.
approval.
We gonna stick to the other one because look, we don't know about all that. Maybe we just should stick to why she ain't going to Disneyland. Because look, that's a whole nother story. If you ain't letting the baby go on that day, oh, that's wrong. That's a whole nother thing. That's because not only is it gonna interfere with the child, but it's interfering with him too.
Hmm.
Because that's
Right.
that baby not being
That's
able to.
something special.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. I'm not.
Yeah, a memory that you remember that type of stuff. And like I said, you may
Yes,
not, she may not go to Disneyland again for another 20 years or something like that. Especially
yeah.
if it, and they was, and you're right, they did have to travel out of state. So
Right.
you definitely may not be going very often if you're from out of state.
Yeah.
That might be your only
Yeah,
time
that's
ever to
pretty
go.
swell. Yeah, definitely it's a tough thing to swallow, man. Like it's not easy. That's not an easy situation for the man or the woman. So if the guy is in a position to be able to, do it, it's like crazy that that the conversation of we talk about deadbeats and all this other type of stuff, and then the guy that's involved trying to do extra
Right.
stuff with his kids. Now
Can't even do
he
that.
he can't even do the 9 deadbeat stuff, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey man, I got stopped from doing stuff way simpler than that. You know,
Mm.
what I mean, I
Mm.
used to try to get my daughter's hairs done and stuff like that, and would get fussed at, and or I would get it done, and then I would drop my daughter off, and then she would take the hair down. So
Oh wow.
so that stopped me because it was just like,
Ooh.
well, I don't want to waste $100 or whatever to get the hair braided, and then
Hmm.
she just gonna go take it down. That just stopped
Wow.
me. So now my daughter walking around with her hair all messed up, and I
Mm.
couldn't even do nothing about it. I mean, that's just the tricky things that
Mm.
that can be
Yeah.
that could be done. I'm not gonna say that women do, because I'm sure there's some men doing some tricky things
That
Yeah.
sounds
if they
like a
want to
mental
get back
illness.
Definitely.
at you. But yeah,
That sounds like a mental illness. Because what is wrong with you?
oh yeah, it does sound like that.
It does.
But I'm just saying, I
What
couldn't do
happened?
simple things like that.
She didn't like the hairstyle, or she didn't like the hairstylist. Like, why? What happened? It
I don't
takes a
want to talk
lot for a
about,
black
huh?
woman to take. It takes a lot for a black woman to take down the hair of a black daughter, because we know
That
how important
sounds like
that.
bitterness and a whole lot more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
no,
like,
it was bitterness, and
yeah.
it was bitterness, and it was a story about, she claimed that I got some hood rat to do the hair, and I took it to a
Okay.
professional. I literally took to somebody who has a salon. But the
Yeah.
story that she was telling was, oh yeah, he got some hood rat to do the hair,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because hair is special to us. We're not taking down no. I still got my braids. I got 3 more weeks on these. I'm not
Come
taking
on,
them
girl.
down,
You said I
girl.
got
Yeah,
3 more weeks.
I
I get
swim with it
bored.
wrapped all up.
I be getting too bored with my hair. I be ready to change it quick.
Yeah. So
But
I,
that's
I,
yeah, dang, that's
yeah, that's
unfortunate.
wrong.
Sorry to
On
hear
your
that.
baby, yeah, on your baby. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Why? You
that
got
that takes us
yeah. So
into kind
that
of
people play games. People play games. It could be, what I'm, my point is, it could be more to it than what she's saying.
hmm
She could be just not one, trying to do a power move on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, not allowing him to be that, step up and be that dad and get them points for taking his daughter to Disneyland. And she could be looking at it like that. Like, oh no, you're not gonna be the one to take her. And
Right.
then all this other stuff is just cap.
she look like the
hmm
Like I
type that
said,
shit
I
get
took some,
kids away
yeah,
though.
mine
Taking
mine turned into you let a hood rat do her hair,
it.
which is a whole nother story.
Not the baby. That's cold.
now that kind of takes us into like a question, right? Parents using the children as a manipulative tool.
Correct.
I don't think that's talked about enough as parents using the kids, man, like as a manipulative tool, which is a real conversation, right? Like it's not as cut and dry as everybody try to make it seem to be. Like the co-parenting part is an essential part of the children's upbringing. And then if there's been a breakup, obviously that's why there's co-parenting now. Uh, that dynamic of the relationship that was there infused now into the kids as a weapon, as a uh, tool of manipulation to uh, off your days or create friction and all that type of stuff. Like it's so much that happens of talking to different people, man. Of things from not allowing people to see their kids to not having access to child support to I mean, sending messages. You know, I see people send messages through kids. Tell
Right.
your mama I said da 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 da,
And it'd be
and
some
then
horrible stuff.
yeah, and like they're getting in the mix of that. And then tell your daddy here da 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 da. So now you got the kids going back and forth, saying some of the most outlandish, nastiest things, gossiping. That's why then you wonder why they out here being some of the most horrible gossipers and out here,
Mm.
man. Like it's a real thing that I think that's a lot of times is not addressed.
Hurt
And
people,
then
hurt
and
people.
those people too are the same people that'll say that I'm just doing whatever. I just got doing this for my kids. They will say that they're doing it for their kids
Hmm.
and be traumatizing the kid, and you're saying they're doing it for their kids, whatever they're doing to
Yeah.
this other person. Those are ones. That's what they'll claim that they're doing, and they'll have other people thinking that too, making you out to be a deadbeat, just a total deadbeat. Like you ain't paid no child support, you don't never come see them, you don't never whatever. Just be total fabricated lies, and be trying to
Hmm.
run you off. And then like the ones that are strong enough I was strong enough not to get ran off, but she showed tried to run me off, and then what it would have been talking about me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm not even nowhere near the person that she was describing. But what if I would have actually ran off? And then what? Then who wins? Then the kids
Right.
lose, and then she'll be feeling good that, oh yeah, I told y'all. This is what he proved. I proved her right, but I would never do it though. I never proved her right. So that
That's
was
good.
like 10, 11 years worth of hell for real. Like 10, 11 years of that.
There's some bad ones out there though.
Yeah.
Real
Your
crazy.
girls, your
Bad.
girls are all grown now, right? They're in
Right.
college, so
Yeah.
you're past that stage. What about to the fellas? The stage where the ex-wife is saying, "Keep my child away from the new wife or the new woman, or they can't come over there." Is that over there? Because if so, I don't want them around.
Come get them.
Yeah,
Come
What?
get
and meanwhile they have boyfriends, get remarried, do all kind of stuff, and they
right.
So
try to
have you
tell you
had that to
that.
happen? Have you
Seriously,
had that to happen to you? What do you do in that situation?
I didn't take anyone around my daughters. Only a couple of people, and when I did, I didn't let her know
Okay.
because I already knew it wasn't even worth the headache. So yeah, it was only a few people that was around them at all. I could think of like really one person that they knew of. It was another person that was around them, but they didn't realize. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
That me and that person was together. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't even. I wasn't even gonna chance that. Like I already knew.
Yeah, I know. Even
Well,
even for me, I think it was a while. Uh, but yeah, I never was concerned about that type of conversation going back and forth. There was things that was said, but was never concerned about the conversation of any of that because it was, you know, it ain't your business. Number one, and what you got going on ain't my business. The only thing that a conversation that I believe was had was talking about, just being aware. Um, you got to watch people, especially with when you have children and kids, who the person you got or you're with or who they're bringing around and stuff, because that's how kids get touched and all that type of stuff. Having that type of conversation, but outside of that, it wasn't. too much of, that I was necessarily concerned about, because you gotta just, it's like, man, you gotta start living life. Then you'll keep yourself kind of in a bubble. But people wasn't like necessarily around my kids anyway. But I think during that, there's only been two that was really around, like actually around my kids. And when they were, it was kind of like at one of these events that we be putting on or something. And so they don't really know, that person was
Yeah.
just coming around just to be around, just like everybody else in the community I was around. But so they
Mhm.
really didn't there was no real tie. But I think that's a whole nother thing that you bringing that up to is, bringing folks around, and how that can stir the pot, because people still be in their feelings and emotions, and people be wanting to control stuff still. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That it'd be a control thing.
Right. And like I say, they be married and doing all kind of stuff, leaving the kids with the person and stuff like that, going out of town. I mean, just stuff that just 10 times, worse than what I ever did or even would ever do.
Right. Right. People just be moving weird, man.
And just act like what everything we do is just is a horror story, and everything
And
they
you
do
gotta
is
be
just
watching.
fine. Everything
Who said that?
is fine.
Oh, you talking about your situation. You're not talking about women in general.
I
Right.
could have, but no, I was talking
Oh.
about. I could have been talking about women in general. No,
Okay.
yeah, I'm talking about my situation. Yeah.
Okay.
And I
So
think
yeah, we
that's what
both.
we're trying to find out. We It's really encouraging brothers. Uh, is really going the legal route, because there's a lot of conversation going back and forth and stuff, and then talking about you know, the concept of her running you off and all that type of stuff. And and I know with Monty and I, it's being more of a competent brother that understand the system, right? There's a system in place that's a bit biased, towards the women.
Yeah.
We understand that, okay, but you still got to go in there and make sure that you get your just time that you're supposed to have with your kids. And so that a lot of guys, they run away from that. They don't want to
Yeah,
be involved in the court system to go and
Yeah.
fight for your kid. But I encourage every brother, if you're listening, any guy or woman, if you're in a situation, even if the guy has custody, full custody of the kids or whatever, go and get your time with the kid. They need both parents, man, at the end of the day. And I would hope that both people in the situation, the guy and the woman, understand that the kids need, they don't want, they need both parents in their lives in some type of degree. Uh, there's extenuating circumstances that happen where they shouldn't be, right? Like there's circumstances that happen where sometimes both parents are not able to be. Uh, but whatever parent, you have parents that been on drugs and all that type of stuff. Get yourself together. Whatever process you need to do to get back involved, do that. Whatever that thing is you got to do to get yourself together, get yourself right. If you don't do that, then your concern for the kids really ain't there to that degree. You got to be able to fight the process that's going on with whoever you with. If they trying to buck at you, hey man, go ahead and go through that so you can get that year or two process, 3 year process to be able to get back involved. Because at the end of the day, your children are going to value that. They'll learn about it all later. You know what I mean? They'll be 20 something,
yeah,
30 something years old. They'll really start understanding what exactly
Yeah.
transpired.
Yeah.
right.
And you
And a
almost
lot of
probably end
times
up having a whole nother relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, too, even when they're getting their teen years, they kind of see what's going on too.
Yeah,
They'll
Mhm.
yeah.
realize who was the more reasonable one and the rational one of the of the two. Let's put it that way.
Hmm. Yep, they
This
sure
little
will.
girl, this little girl might be. We don't really know how old she is because they said the oldest was 14. She could be fit. She could be 13. We don't know. I mean, she could be old enough to really rationalize this whole thing and put
Yeah,
everything in perspective and say like, okay, I'm blaming this on mom. She could totally be that old enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, the dad is probably, we don't know who the dad is. The dad could be somewhere telling her, like, yeah, well, your mom said you can't go. And putting them little extra little tidbits in her ear, like, I wanted to take you, but
Right.
she's being mean again. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. You don't know what that man's saying to that
Yep.
girl.
And
And then
God, God just let you got to create an atmosphere for your kids, man. Like there's a, you got to create a safe environment. You got to create a clean environment. Like there's things as a parent that you should want to do for your kids, man. And if you ain't doing it for yourself, if you got a stanky booty hole and you're funky out here, hopefully it'll inspire you to clean yourself, clean your house, be a cleanly person. Make sure that that they have that you build yourself to where they have a safe haven, man. Like it's crazy that that's not a forethought going into, hey, I want to you know the value of your kids, man. You know what I mean? Like the value that you bring to the table of like, hey, man, I want to be able to, I want to be able to that that pride as a parent. Like I want to be able to, you know what I mean? Like that's to me, it should be something that we continue to perpetuate and to continue to inspire ourselves and others around us. You know what I mean? And I remember one thing that Monte had said before, even guys that want to be deadbeats, right? Like I can't hang around a guy that's a deadbeat, man. You can't be my friend. Like you don't
right.
want to be around your kids. You ain't involved in your kids' life. You're not doing things properly to put yourself in position to be around your kids. Then man, we can't kick it. If you want to ask me for some advice and stuff, that's all you're gonna get from me because I'm gonna be here to try to get you some advice to get back involved in your kids' life. And if I don't see you working toward that, then we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Yep.
It's a tough
Are you
situation.
frozen?
That oh no, I'm
Oh,
here.
there you
I'm here.
go.
It was the
But
dramatic pause.
Yeah, you went black for a little while. Your screen went black for a little while.
But as we look at this whole situation, especially with co-parenting, we gonna wrap it up. And the dynamics of two people that informed this child. Now there was a lot of banging and slanging and dipping and hipping during this whole time, right? And so something beautiful that came out of it. But all of a sudden, things then fell apart, and now this bad co-parenting experience has come amongst, which is a real thing here in America. So I think this is a continuing conversation. I think it's something that could be discussed multiple times in multiple different ways. But I'll let y'all give your final take on your thoughts on co-parenting.
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, co-parenting is very essential for the children. They need both parents, like you said, they do need both parents, and I feel like both parents should fight, to make that happen. And I don't mean fight in a bad way. I mean, in a healthy way to, you know, allow the children to have that in their life because I mean, one parent, not saying that they can't do it alone, they can do it alone, but it takes a village. It really takes a village. And they need a father figure in the home, especially with the way today is going, and especially if you have boys, they need that. Not saying a girl don't, but a boy really needs his father. He truly does. So yeah, I feel like both parents should definitely fight to have that and make that happen for the children because man, at the end of the day, without a father in the home, they don't get to see what it's like to have that male role model that um growing up having my father and having him, I know how different it is when it comes to the parenting. And all he had to do was tell me no or raise his voice, and I froze up. Like, okay, a mother is different. I feel like a mother is tested more when it comes to the children. A child can test a mother versus the father, because a male voice is definitely stern, and that right there alone would make a child act right. So it's hard growing up without your father and not having that male role model in the home, and it's definitely needed in these times. So yeah, fight for your children to have their father if they're not that type of father that a child doesn't need. And I'm talking about that aggressive, and not an aggressive abusive father, somebody that's not healthy and toxic in the wrong way. I don't think children should have that type of father around them. If they're abusive, they shouldn't be seeing that. So if it's healthy, then of course fight for your child to have that in your life.
Me, I pretty much said everything I wanted to say about it. I just think that maybe in this case it could have been some compromise. Uh, Maybe if their relationship was a little bit tighter before this came up, it would have been a lot easier to handle. Um, you could tell that, the way she handled that, they probably didn't have the best of relationships. Because I think if you had the right relationship, you could, and I mean all of them, like the two parents, the man, the woman, and all the kids, you probably could have said that, okay, she's going off to Disneyland, and the other kids might not have, they maybe understood that her father does things for her that they don't do for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little tough for the young ones or whatever, but maybe that 14-year-old could understand that, hey, that's her dad, and they do things and that we don't do. I think there's people out there that understand that, and when you put that understanding out there and you instill that in the kids early, they will have that to deal with situations like this. And the
Mm-hmm.
kids may not have taken it as bad as the mom was claiming, you know, because there's things that my daughters, I know for a fact, um, they're a lot stronger than, I don't want to say it, but they're a lot stronger than what their mother would try to say. You know what I mean? Like their mother would try to say things about them, and I knew like my daughters wouldn't care about that. My daughters understand that, and that's because I put that understanding in them. You know what I mean? So maybe
Yep.
maybe they should have worked towards that, like some understanding amongst everything. Something like this comes up, and
Mhm,
the other kids would have understood that the other daughter had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
mhm. I just want to say, be good to each other, show each other some grace. That man and that woman you laid with, when you lay with them, you lay with them with love, or at least enough lust that it felt like love, and not to Patrick.
I
That's a
mean,
You're
go ahead. I know
tagline
what
asking.
you're
right
talking
there.
about. Go
Stop
ahead. Keep
teasing
going.
me.
I know
Stop
exactly what you're
teasing
talking
me.
about.
Yeah,
That's a tagline. That's a
I talk
tagline.
funny. I'm a country girl. I talk funny. Wait, from the
Now that's a
Midwest. It's odd.
tagline.
It's
That's a
odd, isn't
tagline.
it? We got to
The
do it.
country girl from
Okay.
Chicago.
Yeah. My people are from Clarksdale, Mississippi. I spent my summers there. So I'm really a
Okay.
Southern belle, right? Okay. So
Oh,
I want to say no matter how that man or woman showed up as a partner, as a maybe he was a terrible husband, terrible boyfriend, does not mean he or she are not great parents to those children. And the children need an opportunity to get to know their mothers and fathers as their mothers and fathers, not as your no good boyfriend, no good Disney, ain't do that, all the stuff. Give them an opportunity to get to know, build their own relationship with the parent that has nothing to do with you. And that's just my take. Just be kind to each other, because the kids are watching.
Great points. Great points. Y'all dropped some gems. And, one thing that I'll leave y'all with, man, if you got a co parent, just don't say a whole lot of negative things about the person around your kids, man. You can't be saying negative stuff about them. If they're going to find out about them, let them find out about them on their own so that they have this positive image. And if that person decides to tear it down in front of them, they will. And so, that's something that I've always been kind of conscious of with my kids, is trying to make sure I don't, They wouldn't hear my frustration. Because the frustration is stuff gonna happen, right? And so they don't hear it from me on my side. Whatever they're gonna hear from their side will be, but from my side, I try my best to ensure that whatever thoughts that they think that I have is always a positive one. And although they'll see that it's not, but just know that I ain't gonna be spewing nothing that they can go and use and say, well, Dad think this about and Dad think this about. So I'll just encourage people to try to do that. I know for some folks it's extremely hard. It is a hard task, tall glass of water to pour down because sometimes it's not always the best situation. But just let that sizzle in your spirit a little bit to try to bring some positivity to it, even though it's gonna take everything in you. I mean everything in you to not to, man, because it's a tough thing to do. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. Another great conversation with some awesome individuals, man, that have come to the table to have another great discussion. Let them know how they can touch and reach out to y'all, Jen, T, and then Monty.
Thank y'all for tapping in with us. It's Persevering Jen. You can check in with me on all platforms. Persevering Jen. Let's go.
Hi, Bakersfield. It's T. Franklin. You can email me if you want to contact me at t.franklin@yahoo.com.
And I'm Monty C. Wilson. You can find me on Monty C. Wilson on all platforms, mainly Instagram and Facebook. You can also check out my movie Hypno. It's spelled Hypno. It's on Tubi TV and it's also on YouTube now. So you can go ahead and check that out, the full version of it. You can see people like my directing skills, my shooting skills. You see Patrick's acting skills because he's in the movie, and and this would be a way to support me. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, y'all go check that out. It's on YouTube now. Okay, it's on YouTube. We was on Tubi and Amazon, I think, right? Amazon
Yeah,
too.
it's on Tubi, Amazon, and now it's
Yeah,
on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Three Turn Media.
Return Media. Let's go, man. Gonna
Return
be a lot
Media.
more
The
stuff
number
happening.
three Turn Media. Yep.
Yeah. We're gonna get that cracking. Make sure y'all come hit up your boy Patrick Jackson Jr. on Facebook. Hit me PJ Game Changer on Instagram. Also, make sure that you go and follow the Game Changer Show on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Make sure y'all continue to check us out. We love talking and kicking it with y'all, man. Y'all got the cool kids on the block, chilling, hitting it, y'all up with some good combo, man. Once again, we appreciate y'all chilling with us, hanging with us, having a good time. We out.